Good morning. Good morning. Letting everybody join in here. It is Jay, the AI guy, with week 7 of our webinar series, our Friday webinar series. I am so excited for this workshop, for this webinar. I even got my hair cut. Look, I got all of them cut. And I'm not wearing a hat today. Super excited to talk about NotebookLM. We have talked about it briefly in the past few weeks. I'm going to give everybody a chance to jump in and say hi. We have been talking about NotebookLM for a few weeks. I'm going to show you guys some of the cool things that we're doing with it. I am also going to announce and launch our brand new course that can show you how to use this technology. Looks like I just froze. I don't know if I'm froze. It looks like I'm froze. I'm froze on my screen. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm back. Okay. I'm going to show you, if you see this QR code right up here, if you're seeing it where I'm pointing, I hope it's not in reverse. It is, it'll take you in a new page to our brand new course that we're launching today. On how to build an AI-powered super brain in your business. It'll work if you're running a lemonade stand. It'll work if you're running Google. Okay, I don't care what size your business is or where you're at. NotebookLM, what you can do inside NotebookLM, if you do it right. Now, everybody could run out and use NotebookLM today and do it wrong. If you do it right, and I hope that I get to at least show you some of that today, you can completely transform the way your entire business operates, from bringing on a new hire to getting better at sales, to training salespeople, to your operations, SOPs, everything. So we're going to be talking all about NotebookLM today. Yeah, I know, Heather. I see that I'm kind of, my audio and stuff is kind of in and out today. We're going to deal with the technology issues today. Thank you. But first, before we dive in, I want to show you one of the cool things that I'm really going to show you today inside of NotebookLM, and one of the things that we've been able to do that you're going to love here is, I'm going to go into a notebook. I'm going to share my screen. All right. And inside of one of my notebooks, this is a notebook where we are actually building out another course. It's kind of a course based on all the stuff we've taught over the last 7 weeks. We'll probably do it at about the 12-week mark. But one of the things that it can do, if you take content, and we're going to show you all this today. So I just want to kind of show you, let's just say you took your document on NotebookLM. You can actually have a podcast created from it, and it will actually sound really, really good. Now, this isn't the podcast. This is actually a brief, but I'm going to show you what a brief sounds like. And in a little bit, I'm going to show you what the podcast actually sounds like. So take a listen to this. And it's only about 1.5 minutes long.
Between two AI hosts.
There we go.
This is the brief on learning NotebookLM with Jay the AI guy. So we're unpacking a really cool guide by Jay Vix that literally teaches answers strictly from the stuff you upload, like your PDFs. Plus, it gives you numbered citations for every claim, which basically kills those crazy AI hallucinogenic, driest, most boring training manuals, and it magically transforms them into these engaging, podcast-style conversations between two AI hosts. Honestly, it's perfect for passive learning, letting new hires absorb company policies just by listening. Finally, Jay stresses that your success relies heavily on source hygiene. Look, the tool is free, but that classic garbage in, garbage out rule still totally applies here. You can't just dump messy files in. You really need to organize your data into specific notebooks so the AI gives you super accurate answers. The bottom line is that by carefully curating your own files, you're building a highly secure private brain for your business that actually knows what it's talking about.
All right. So let's dive in. First of all, where's everybody here from? So just give me, I see Sarah's in here, Dee is in here. Sarah, it was great to see you yesterday. Avanice, Mark Pedal, nice to see you from Burlington in here. Go ahead and tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Who's here? Greensboro, Meg's here. Meg's following me around. She's been following me around all week so I could teach her. All right, cool. Keep them coming. If you guys jump in, keep it coming. And let's dive in. So obviously what you just heard wasn't me talking. It wasn't a guest on my show. It was not a person I know. Oh yeah, Craig, Winston-Salem, good to see you as well. It was an AI generated conversation about my NotebookLM workshop that I'm doing right now. Right. So very, very cool. I know if I am cutting in and out today, I apologize. I am hardwired to the internet and haven't typically had it, but I know a few people have mentioned I'm cutting in and out. So we're just going to go with it. I don't think there's anything I can do to fix it. I just hope I don't like freeze for good. So if I freeze for good, then that's a problem. All right, let's talk about it. The first thing to know about NotebookLM is it is not ChatGPT. All right. NotebookLM is not ChatGPT. It is not Claude. It is not Perplexity. Those tools pull from the entire internet. They're brilliant, right? They're awesome. We've talked about how Claude is like my best friend in the world, but they hallucinate. They make stuff up sometimes. If you ask Claude to give you something and you say, hey, I think this is a great idea, Claude's likely going to support you and say this, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a great idea. It could be the worst idea in the world. Claude doesn't know if it's a great idea. So you have to sometimes know how to prompt to tell people to tell those tools to be contradictory to you, right? But they all hallucinate. They all pull from all of the knowledge that is in the world, right? Well, NotebookLM is completely different in that it only uses the documents you upload, nothing else. Like that's it. Like if it's not in your documents, NotebookLM doesn't try to make something up. It's called, it's called source grounding. It's built on Google's Gemini. Now, this is really cool. So Gemini by Google is Google's most advanced AI, right? And about a month and a half ago, they upgraded NotebookLM to their most recent model, or then recent model, Gemini 3. Well, in the last 48 hours, and I mean, it literally happened in the last 48 hours. I didn't even have time to put it in and talk about it. They upgraded it to Gemini 3.1 is here. It's the newest model, and it's outperforming Claude and a bunch of other things in a lot of the way it does deep research and the way it does things. The other thing that happened that I didn't have time to put in the presentation, which I'm going to show you guys in a little bit, is it now allows you to edit a lot of the studio work that it can do. For instance, it can create a slide deck. Now we can edit those slides in AI, right? So, and I'll tell you why that's important in a minute, but that's huge. It just came out. I don't even know that it's rolled out to everybody yet. I actually have Gemini Ultra, Ultra account. So I got access to it, but I think it's there. But that's key point too, is that it's built on Gemini, and it is one of the best, if not the best models on the planet. I believe in Google's AI. I actually have stock in Google's AI. So yay, I'm going to keep promoting it. But yeah, it's exciting. Here's the magic. So every single answer that NotebookLM gives you, and what you're seeing right now on the screen, is one of my notebooks. It's the notebook, like I mentioned, where I have all of the summaries of every weekly webinar that we've been doing. Every Friday we do these webinars, and we are putting the summaries in afterwards so that we have a notebook that I could always go back and say, what did I teach about here? What did I say on this? We can also create new content with it. It comes with a citation. If you notice, after the number, or after the, on each of the thing here in this middle chat, let me close this back up. You'll see that there's these little circular numbers. Here's a 20, a 21, 22, a 5, 11, and 24. Those are all citations, much like an encyclopedia. It's going to say, hey, I'm giving you this answer this is where I got it from. And it points back to our documents. So there literally is no hallucination. I could say immediate response, AI assistance integrated into the CRM to chat and book appointments instantly. Where did I talk about that? Click on the citation. It opens it up here. Here's the video. Here's the transcript. I said it somewhere in here, but that's where it pulled the information from. So it's like having that knowledge base that gives you the answers. It's amazing. All right. Number 4 on my key points to kick off the NotebookLM workshop, it's free. And here's the kicker. You can use it right now with any Google account, right? There is a plus version for power users. There's also an ultra version for psychos like me. But you can use it immediately with any Google account. So if you have a Google account, you can do it. And the free version truly is more than enough for most small businesses. All right. Number 5, privacy. Right? Your documents always stay private. They're not used to train Google's AI. This isn't like uploading your stuff to ChatGPT where it might end up in the training data that everybody else in the world has access to. This keeps your documents to you, does not train the bigger AI. Google doesn't really need all the stuff that's inside of your business. This is really for your enterprise and your eyes. All right. What can you upload to NotebookLM? PDFs, Google Docs, Google Slides, websites, YouTube videos, audio files, Google Sheets. Yes, I'm reading off a list because I could not remember all this. Word documents, even images, pretty much anything. And the way you add a source into a notebook is you come in, you add source, and you drop your files in, right? You can also search the web for new sources, but again, we'll talk about that later. We're trying to just our own stuff right now. We don't want to search the web. We don't want to pull in outside garbage that we may not agree with or believe in. We want to upload our own documents in. All right. So let me show you. Enough talking. Let's show you how to work on this. I'm actually going to put a link in the chat that I didn't give my team ahead of time. Shame on me. I'm going to put it in the chat here. That is how you get to NotebookLM. It's notebooklm.google.com. I put it in the chat. You guys should all be seeing it now. D, thank you. Glad my audio and video is better now. All right. So let me dive in here a little bit. All right. So once you're signed in to NotebookLM, you're going to see something similar to this. It's not going to have all these notebooks in it. Mine does because we're constantly putting in notebooks. And some of these are named for what we're offering right now for businesses. Right now, we're actually offering implementation services where we can come into your business and help you build all of the notebooks that you need in your business. That's what our course is going to teach you how to do. By the way, if you're joining late, I am announcing a new course today. We've actually created a course on NotebookLM. I'll talk to you guys about it at the end. I told you for the last 2 weeks that while I typically don't sell anything on the webinar, this Friday was going to be different. There is a QR code above my head on the screen. If you scan it, it'll open up a link to our landing page where you can buy our new course on how to build a company Cortex for your company, which is your AI super brain. But we're going to go over kind of some of that today anyway. So, all right. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to create a new notebook. So inside there, you have create a new notebook here. You also have create new up here. If I create a new notebook, it's going to immediately ask us for our sources. Now, you can call it whatever you want. And you can even wait to upload your sources. You might just want to create the notebook and name it. So if you don't click here, you have this blank notebook and you can name it whatever you want. You could name it. I'm gonna pick on D a little bit. D is on many of our webinars and she's always really good and she does great virtual assistant services. I'm gonna call it D's Company Knowledge. Okay. And then what D could do is now upload a source. Now, if D has her SOPs for managing somebody's calendar or appointments, or maybe she's got knowledge on how she creates social media content for somebody for a month, right? Maybe there's documents on what she does, where she goes, how she does it, all those SOPs. She can upload those SOPs right in here, and then she's training the notebook on how to do that. So what we're going to do actually is I'm going to go out of this notebook, and I'm going to go into a pretty much one that I've done recently. Let's go into my, let's go on HR Cortex. Okay. So here's an example of a fictitious company called BrightPath, and this is all part of my course. I built this for the course so I could show you how to use it in there. And what we uploaded here is a PDF file of a employee handbook, and then we added some accompanying documents, which was a PTO policy and new employee onboarding. Okay, so we added these sources. So now the only thing that this particular notebook knows in our human resources cortex, I call our notebooks that we do for company organization cortexes, and there's 6 main ones. HR is one of the main departments in a business, and so we have an HR cortex. So what we've got is some basic staffing information, right? And if you added audio or video, what it's going to do is it's going to transcribe it. But what I want to do here is I'm going to, let me clear this chat. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I have been working at BrightPath for 4 years, and I didn't use 3 of my vacation days last year. How much PTO do I have? Right. So now your employees or your team members have somebody to go to, that they don't have to pick up the phone or walk down to HR or anything. They have an AI chat that knows everything about the company they work for. How many times do you get, especially if you're in bigger companies, or how many times have you seen this where you answer the same question 4 million times, or you've asked the same question several times, or you just needed a fast place to go? Now you have an AI chat. Oh, by the way, based on your 4 years here at BrightPath, you have 23 days potentially available this year, provided you use your carried overtime before it expires. Here's the breakdown. Annual accrual, 3 to 5 years of service, get 20 days. You're allowed to carry over 5 unused days. So you had 3, you carry them all over. Important restrictions. Your 3 carryover days must be used by March 31st. Like, boom. No, it's in the manual or it's in the handbook. Go read the handbook, find that page, and then read through. No, it's there. Instant chat answers, right? Beautiful. How much time does that save people from having to go look it up themselves? And that's just one small, tiny example of how amazing this can be inside of a company. It also, the chat will give you several different questions, right, that you want to use. Now, let's say that you love this answer. Okay. By the way, RC, can you drop the quick start guide in the chat? We've made for you a PDF quick start. And it's just a guide of everything we're going to be talking about as an overview of NotebookLM today. So it's free. I want you guys to have it. It's actually up on our jtheAIguy.com website, but he's going to put the link in there for everyone. And that should be coming up in just a second. All right. So this is just kind of some of the basics. NotebookLM has some killer features that most people don't know about. So we're gonna share that with you. One of the things you can do with this chat, any answer that the AI gives you, you have an ability to save it to a note. Now, what's cool about notes is you can actually, if you pin it, it comes over here, it generates a note. Now, let's say that answer was a really good answer, and I want that now to be kind of its own source in our notebook, right? I can actually, it puts the note over here. I can convert it to a source, and it will put it over here as another source. So now you can almost take these notes and you could say, like, this is my notebook inside my company, right? Like, and you could add your own answers, right? You can also export it out to Google Docs, Google Sheets, and have it for you. Or, oops, close the source. You can also delete it, and it will still just be in your chat answers. All right. So let's keep going. So the first killer feature, I talked to you about it a few minutes ago. If you guys remember the brief that I played in the beginning, that's an audio overview. And I want to show you how to make one, but I'm going to go to a different notebook to do it. I'm going to go back to my weekly webinar summary notebook where I played that brief earlier. I want to show you guys what the power of having audio overviews are. Audio overviews are up in here as a studio panel, and there's actually some options. These are all new also in the last month. We didn't have the ability to click a little pencil. We just took what it gave us. It was like, here's what it is, take it or leave it. If you don't like it, generate a new one. That was basically where it was. Now we can say, ooh, let's go into a deep dive, or let's do a brief. All right, the first thing you listened to today was a brief or a critique of the sources with constructive feedback so you can improve your material, or a debate. So we are going to actually, I've already built one, so we're not going to do it right now, but I like the deep dive and the debate. You can choose the length now, short, default, or long. And you can also say, hey, what do we want my AI hosts to focus on in this episode? But what it's going to do is it's going to create a podcast style conversation between two very not real, very AI hosts discussing just my documents, right? And then I can download it as an MP3. Practical use. Think about this. You could upload your training materials, right? If you have a new hire coming on, create a podcast, give it to the new hires and say, listen to this on your first day, right? Or if you have a meeting with somebody, you know how you guys all have these meeting transcribers, meeting notes, Fathom, Otter, Gemini, they all transcribe. Upload your meeting notes into a notebook, right? Make it like my personal notes. Upload your meeting notes and listen to the summary. Listen to two made up people have a podcast about your meeting, right? While you're driving, right? So brief, critique, debate, right? We've got all these different formats. So what I've done is I've already generated one. So I'm going to let you listen to the podcast model. And then I'm going to show you a hidden trick that I don't use it often, but is really, really cool. So take a listen to this.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a tool that frankly makes me feel a little insecure about my job security. We are talking about NotebookLM.
It's definitely a tool that shakes things up. I mean, it's Google's attempt to completely redefine how we interact with the massive amount of information we just hoard on our hard drives.
Right. And to really set the stage here, we have to talk about how the webinar we're analyzing today kicked off. The presenter plays this audio clip.
Oh, yeah, that audio clip.
Yeah, it's two people, a man and a woman, and they're bantering back and forth about a business concept. They're laughing, they're interrupting each other, using idiom.
It sounds exactly like a polished podcast.
It sounds like us, ideally anyway. But then he stops the clip and drops the bomb that it wasn't him. That wasn't a guest. That was AI.
Right? How cool is that, right? That is that they're real, right? I mean, those are real people talking. Nope. What's really neat now is you can actually go into an interactive mode. Okay. Interactive mode can interrupt your podcast hosts, and you can join the podcast and ask a question, and they will answer your question. So let me try. I don't know if I can do this in real time. I'm going to try this.
He generated that entire conversation in about 60 seconds.
No, I can't do it from here. But oh wait, yes I can.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a tool that frankly makes me feel a little insecure about my job security.
Oh, hey, I think our listeners got something to say.
Hey, I wanted to know if you could just give me a 30-second rundown of what NotebookLM is. Nope. Ah, it didn't
Welcome
work.
back to the deep dive.
All right.
Today we're looking.
So what they'll do is they'll answer it for you, right? It's called interactive mode. And then you can listen back with your, so it's almost like you're calling into a radio show, right? About your own content, right? All right. Whose mind is already blown with just that one tiny feature of NotebookLM? Give me a thumbs up or tell us in the comments. Go ahead and put it in the comments if you were like, holy crap, that's awesome. Or if you're like, oh, that's boring. I mean, I think that is amazing. I would much rather listen to somebody telling me about things than sitting down and reading through something, right? Like I just absorb it, or it's just a second way to absorb it, right? So yes, very cool, amazing. Yes, Sarah, Mark, thank you. Okay, cool. All right, now we are going to, oh, I know why it didn't work. Hold on, I'm going to try it again. Hold on. I didn't give it permission to my microphone. Hold on a second, guys. We're going to start that over. I got to go back through the beginning part again.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a tool that frankly makes me feel a little insecure about my job.
Whoa, did someone just break the fourth wall? Let's hear it.
Hey, I just, for my guests, can you just give me a 30-second rundown of what NotebookLM is?
That's a great request.
Yeah, that's perfect timing.
We can definitely pause and give you the high-level rundown before we dive into the weeds.
Okay, let's unpack this. NotebookLM is essentially your own personal AI assistant.
But the key difference is this. It's a closed system.
Right. It's an AI that only knows what you teach it.
It's not pulling from the entire internet like ChatGPT or Claude.
It's what Google calls source-grounded AI.
You upload your own documents, PDFs, or even YouTube video links.
And it turns that messy folder of files into a private, searchable knowledge base.
The output is always cited. It tells you exactly where the information came from.
No hallucinations, no made-up facts.
So it's a trustworthy librarian for your specific business documents.
That's the core concept.
And that's exactly why we're talking about it today.
Because we were about to dive into the very tool that makes this all possible.
NotebookLM.
We are talking about NotebookLM.
All right. Yes, I knew. Yeah, I didn't give it access to my microphone. It was asking me. It was prompting me. You guys probably saw it. I didn't see it on my screen. I had to give it access so I could ask the question. I had to give my browser. So that was why it didn't work the first time. But yeah, so you can just interrupt at any time. You can be like, wait a minute, I have a question about that. Can you go deeper into that? And they're going to go deeper. That right there is worth the price of admission, which was free. So I hope it's worth a lot more than that. All right, cool. Thanks for being on here. Yes, D, that is crazy. Let's actually share some of this. This is what you guys are saying right now. If you're watching on YouTube or in StreamYard, that's crazy. Love NotebookLM. Wild. Love it. Avanice said, holy cow. Mind blown. I mean, this is usually how I feel when I'm going through this. So let's talk about the next thing in the studio. And I lost my notes. It's mind maps. And mind maps are pretty cool as well. So basically what I did is on the left-hand side, I want to show you guys, it says select all sources. If you have all sources selected and you use one of these things, it's going to use all your sources. Okay. That's really important that I kind of bring that back here. Because if you want to do a mind map, you could do a mind map on just one document or one source. You can turn off all the sources and say, I just want a mind map on our vibe coding workshop from last week. So we had the vibe coding starter kit and we had the transcript from our vibe coding. And I could say, I want to create a mind map on those two sources. You'll notice on the right that the NotebookLM podcast I just played, the audio overview, that was two sources. But building a drone campaign was something that we talked about on a previous webinar, was 11 sources. Vibe coding, I did a slide deck on it, one source, right? So you can pick and choose the sources that you want to pull into your content. because sometimes you don't want everything in a piece of content, right? That you create. So what I'm doing, or what I've done here, I've already created a mind map so that I don't have to do it on here, but we used 7 of my sources, and it was the beginner's blueprint for AI tools and prompting. So if I click on this, you're going to see that NotebookLM created me this mind map. Looks kind of boring, right? Like, whoa, okay, like that's cool. So what is it? So, well, prompting and tools for beginners is kind of the overview of what our weekly webinars are. And I did this after, I think, week 4. So the first webinar we did was talk about the AI tech stack that we use. So if I click on it, it opens it up, right? And it opens it up over here. I talked about Claude, NotebookLM, Gemini, Perplexity, and then there's some secondary tools. And now what chat is doing is it's analyzing all that, and it's going to discuss what the sources say in that mind map just on that one piece of topic. So the mind map kind of brings it all together and then allows you to go deeper into a topic based on a visual layout, right? It's kind of a visual map of how all the topics in your documents connect, right? So you can go deeper and you can go deeper and you can go deeper. So inside of Claude, we talked about it being your thinking partner, complex strategy builder, coding and analysis builder, projects and artifacts. I can go deeper inside the thinking partner. What did we talk about? By the way, every time I click it, it starts trying to go through and analyze just that section, right? I mean, it just keeps going, right? Actually, I think that's as where as it goes, but it goes down to that. What does it say, right? And then it goes through all the sources and it just gets you to the right answer. So you click on any of those nodes. It's great for understanding complex relationships or seeing the big picture of all of your content, right? And I could do that for all of it. So each week, let me open this up in full screen again, right? And zoom in. And you can click and drag and move it around, right? I could say, all right, what did I talk about on prompting frameworks? Well, inside the prompting frameworks, I talked about the CLEAR framework and best practices. What is that CLEAR framework again? Oh yeah, context, length, examples, audience, and result. Oh, tell me about that, right? So it's going to discuss down here what the sources say about the CLEAR framework. And that's still on the vibe. It's down here. Based on the provided sources, I have to go to the bottom. CLEAR framework, the foundation for CLEAR for text and strategy, context, who you are, what the output looks like, the tone style, who's reading it. So there's our CLEAR framework. And then talked about, it goes into some of the other stuff with vibe coding and how it fits into the bigger picture, right? So that is mind maps. All right. The next thing I want to show you guys, I think, is, you thought audio overviews were cool. I've created a video overview as well. And you guys may have seen this. If you're in our Facebook group, the Jay the AI Guy Learn AI for Small Business Facebook group. If you're watching, we're going to, yes, you can use the mind map to help you outline a class. It really is going to outline your notes. So if you put all your class material in, Sarah, I want to answer that question. If you put all of your class notes into its own notebook, again, I want you guys to create notebooks. Don't try to throw everything in one notebook. You will not be pleased. Okay. There is a very specific manner and a very specific way to format content. If you guys open up a notebook and start dumping PDFs into it, you're going to hate it. It's going to be awful. There is a very specific way you should clean your documents. There's a very specific way you should put them into your notebook. But if you created a notebook and you said, this is specific to this course, this one course, right? It can create a mind map of how all those things are interrelated, and it can help you outline like the best way to present the class. And then you can have the audio overview debate or critique your coursework in your sources. right? So yeah, so here's what I want to talk about. Video overviews. This is a newer feature. It's a couple months now. But what they do is they create slide style videos with AI narration and visuals. So really quick explainer video. So I actually made, just on our vibe coding workshop, and you guys might have seen this in the Facebook group. And can we throw the link to the Facebook? If you guys aren't following us on Facebook or interacting with me in our Facebook group, you're making me lonely. I want more interaction. So there you go. It just came up in the chat, in the comments. Join our Facebook group. It's free. It is a private group. We share everything about the webinars in here. Anytime I get tips or tricks, we put stuff in there, but it's really a place where you can ask us questions. My team, I know RC and Heather are here backstage, and they're moderators in that Facebook group. You can ask us questions, interact, stay in touch. I actually believe, I don't know if I did or not. I feel like I posted this video in there, but here's a video overview. And NotebookLM just made this video based on those sources that are in this particular notebook, right? And I can create another one based on another source or all my sources, like I was sharing. So it's 1.5 minutes long, and it talks about what is vibe coding. Now, if you were on last week's webinar, you're an expert at vibe coding already, right? You all made a project this week, I hope. That was your homework. Well, here we go.
You might be hearing this term vibe coding thrown around. So what is it? I mean, what if you could create a tool for your business just by talking? For a lot of us, technology and coding can feel, well, pretty intimidating.
Yeah, that probably sounds familiar, right? But the game is changing, and fast.
So let's get right to it. There's this new approach called vibe coding. All it means is you tell an AI what you want in plain English. No code needed. And that's the magic right there. The AI is so smart, you just talk to it.
So check out the difference. It's not about knowing code. It's about explaining your idea.
Okay, sounds cool. But does this actually work for, real stuff? Let's look at a real-world case study, building a moving quote calculator. The goals were simple: get leads and give customers quick estimates. A total win-win. And look how simple the process was. Just describe the tool, list the fields, and bam. The key thing? This entire thing was built without writing one single line of code. And we're not just talking about little widgets. People are building whole apps like this. So what does this all mean for you? The power to create is literally in your hands.
It's not about can you code anymore. The real question is, can you describe it?
So really think about that. What would you build if the only limit was your idea?
All right. That is a video overview completely generated by AI inside of NotebookLM that explained the entire concept of vibe coding and basically just said, Jay, you don't even need to do a webinar on vibe coding. Just play this video. I mean, now obviously we went in and we showed you examples, and Delroy was on and he helped me out, and it was great. But this, that's a shareable piece of content. Everything was great in it. I loved it. I loved the narration, sounded real, didn't sound robotic. I mean, everything about the video overview was excellent, in my opinion there. Hope you guys would agree with that. So you could just upload any of your product documentation or your website and get an overview video, right, about your business. Put it on your website then, right? All right. Some more cool stuff. The kids in the room are going to love this. Also, people who create courses. I'm talking to you, Sarah. I know you're watching. And when is the class on how to split up the notebooks? Ooh. Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that, Sarah. Let me put that screen on here. When is the class on how to split up the notebooks? Do you see the little QR code above my head? That, or there might be a button below. If you're watching this video on our website right now, right below, there's a button. It says skip the line, right? If you click on that, a new window is going to open. And I humbly request that you spend 47 bucks and get my entire deep dive class on NotebookLM and exactly everything you need to know to put it into your business. I know, Jay, you don't sell on your webinars. Normally, no. Today, yes, I am working my tail off to get this course ready. And today it's ready. I've still got some more videos on the back end to finish up. But it's ready. It's for purchase. It's available. And that will teach you how to split up your notebooks, how to organize them for your business, everything you need, documents, downloads, prompts, everything you need to build your AI super brain in your business is in there. You can scan the QR code with your phone, or if you're watching, like I said, if you're on the website right now, if you're watching me and you're on the Jay the AI Guy website, you should see a little button below that says skip the line, right? If you click on that button, you can go and you can learn everything that I teach in the course. And you can there's also some extra things that you can get to help you move a little faster inside there, but you can see that at the bottom. But really, for 47 bucks, it's going to be regularly 197. I'm doing it for 47 as an intro, like kickoff special, because you guys are cutting the line. That's really why I said cut the line. It's you guys are first. And plus I'm going to want feedback from you all. So there's a great answer or a great question. How do we split the notebooks? All right. So, it looks like I froze up again. I hope I'm back. All right. Let's talk about, am I back? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the next thing we can do in NotebookLM. Flashcards and quizzes. Okay. So NotebookLM creates flashcards and quizzes. So incredible for team training. Upload all your SOPs, generate flashcards, and then quiz your team on the processes. If you use a tool, I know there's a tool called Anki. If you're into spaced repetition learning, you can export them into that. I've never used it, but I've heard people ask about it. But you can generate flashcards and quizzes. I'm trying to think if I did flashcards in here for you. Let's. You can do it based on your source. You can do level of difficulty, easy, medium, which is default, or hard. How many cards you want? Do you want fewer flashcards default or more? And then things to try. So let's restrict it to a specific source or talk about a specific topic. We want to make them short for memorization. You can put in some topics about your flashcards. I just clicked on the default generate. And then on quizzes, it can be an AI, interactive, an AI interactive quiz that you can take. So we'll do this too. Here's a vibe coding flashcard, because those are the two sources I have picked. So if I go in here, so what happens is you can press space to flip or go left to right to navigate. What is the core definition of vibe coding? See answer. Describing desired software functionality in plain English and allowing AI to generate the underlying code. You can explain the answer by clicking this button or go to the next question. In vibe coding, what's the primary alternative to worrying about programming syntax? Focusing on the vibe or general feeling and intended outcome, right? You get the point. So now you can, and what's cool is you can take these flashcards and you can share them. If you share the notebook, you can share the notebooks with people in your own organization. You can't share these publicly. If I go to share my notebook, it's going to say myself and RC are the only ones that have access to this notebook, right? So it's shared inside your organization, all right? So you're not sharing that publicly, but you can share your videos. You can download and share your videos. You can also, I think, let's see, on the flashcards. Yeah, it would just be for internal use. So what you might want to do there, again, if you have a team and you want to study them, or share with them, or you can use it and then you can put your kids' homework in there and you can quiz your kids, right? You have flashcards. rather than them expecting you to know all the material, right? I've helped my daughter with her homework. She's only in 3rd grade, and some of it I'm like, I never learned this in 3rd grade. But anybody with me on that? Let's look at the quiz. So here's a 10-question quiz that it just generated. According to the source material, what is the core concept of vibe coding? Let's see. Describing desired functionality in plain English and letting AI generate the code. That's right. Vibe coding focuses on communicating the feeling or intent rather than worrying about the programming syntax. Next, right? So there you go. And you could use this to just generate my quiz for me. If you're building a course, this is beautiful. If you're a teacher, this is amazing, right? And so, yeah, so you've got flashcards and quizzes. I'm going to keep going. I want to show you guys some more ways to use it. Data tables. I do believe I built a data table in here. If not, I'll build one quick. No, I didn't. All right, let's see if I can build a data table on NotebookLM. Let's select my NotebookLM source and my week 7 presentation outline. Let's build a quick data table. I don't know what it's going to give me on a data table, but if you need to get your sources organized into a numbers-based layout, right? This is where data tables are really good. So it can extract information. It doesn't even have to be like numeric. It can just be organized into tables, right? So some people look at that, maybe a comparison chart between you and a competitor. I can show you guys how to do that. You can bring in your competitors, things like a SWOT analysis, and then you can get a comparison to how you compare to that business or how your website compares to this business, right? Maybe meeting notes and get a table of action items by owner. So here's what the NotebookLM table built for us. Here you go. So here's a feature or use case, right? Here's the category: killer features, small business use cases, core functionality. Then it's going to give us a description of that, what the primary benefit is, the source material needed to do it, best for these things, and here's the sources, right? So we'll probably use this now that I just created this, my mind races. I'm probably going to use this as I build out the like AI for beginners course that I'm going to use based on all the webinars we've been doing over the last 7 weeks. And I'm going to continue to expand on this over 12 weeks. So it just built that for me. And and you saw how quick it was. It was like 5 seconds, right? And it gave me a good way to lay down all the different things. So it organized it that way. So really all these tools are a way for you to organize your own data so that you can explain it better, understand it better, see it differently, get some pushback on things, right? Create the content for your social media, for your website, for your blog. Like you see all the versatile ways, like the Swiss Army knife of AI tools, right? Now, this next one is probably the coolest. I actually won a partnership deal because of the slide deck feature. And in the last 48 hours, like I mentioned earlier, the slide deck feature became so much more powerful. So here you can actually click on slide decks. And again, you have the pencil. Oh, I didn't show you guys infographics either. Infographics are great too. You can do a detailed deck or presenter slides that have like just the key talking points on your slide, or you could actually do like all your full text and details. Short, regular, long, describe the slide deck you want to create, right? And then click generate, and it will make a slide deck based off of your sources. Now, I built a slide deck on Vibe Coding Starter Kit. Okay. Now, typically this, I would just get this and that's it. So if I didn't like a slide, you couldn't edit it, right? You couldn't edit the slide at all. Like you can't click on an element and say, ooh, we need to replace this, or can we put a logo on the slide? You'd have to like export those slides and then try to finagle them using Canva or Photoshop or something. And it's a real pain in the butt. So if it didn't get it right on the first go, you kind of couldn't use it. So it was like, but I will say that it does a really good job. Like on the first go, like it's pretty darn good, right? Like the slides look good. They're branded. They're very clean, right? They look nice, right? But if there's just that one thing that's wrong or that one thing you don't like, it'd be a pain to edit it. Like, what if you had to like copy a white box over this and then find the font and put the new stuff in? Editing was a nightmare. Well, until yesterday when we got this new revise button. Now you still can't click on an element and like do things. Like I can't just click in here and change the text. Maybe that'll come in a future version. But what I can do now is I can say change interactive FAQ to say I don't know, just FAQ. And then I can generate a new deck. So it's also, you can still have the original one, but I'm going to generate a new deck based on that. And we'll come back to it. It's going to generate the revision and then it'll be done. So let's talk about some use cases for small business. Okay. Because we've been talking all about these cool features. Let's see. But yeah, so we've been talking about it. Let's actually talk about implementing. And I've got a few people. Mark said he had to go. It was good to see you, Mark. And the starter course, great. Webinars are recorded. You can view it on Facebook, all that good stuff. And yeah, it's sort of like prompts and vibe coding. So it changes it, Sarah. Yeah, so that's what it's going to do. It's going to generate the revision of the slide deck. So let's talk about I'm going to give you 5 specific ways you can use NotebookLM starting today, real use cases, not theory. 1, I talked about this a little bit earlier. New employee onboarding. If you have ever hired somebody, every single new hire asks the same 50 questions. Where's the handbook? What's the PTO policy? How do I submit expenses? And you answer them every single time, and it gets old. Create an onboarding notebook. Upload your employee handbook, training docs, SOPs, company policies. Now the new hires just get access to the notebook when they come in, and they can just chat with the AI and get all their answers. What's the like I showed you earlier, what's the process for requesting time off? Or I said, how many days do I have? Boom, instant answer. And it's not just for the new hires, it could be for any employee. Also, you can generate an audio overview of all your training materials. The new hire listens to it on day 1 and they're up to speed before lunch. So there's one way you can use it. 2, SOPs, standard operating procedures. Anybody else have all their SOPs up in their head and not in a document? Or worse, anybody have all their SOPs in Google Drive and they're all in separate notebooks, and then you're constantly like, where did I put those? Or you're going 15 layers deep, like Heather gets mad at me for creating all my levels deep of notebooks to find that document. So then once you find the document, then you've got to find where it is, or you got to go through it. If you've got your SOPs scattered everywhere or inside your brain, or maybe you don't have them at all, create an SOP notebook. Upload everything. Now, anyone on your team can ask, what's the process for handling a refund, and get a step-by-step answer with the sources. Okay. No more, hey boss, how do I do this interruption? Right. That's no more. I think you got to do it this way, or let's sit down and I'll show you how to do it. Like, no, boom. And you can put like a link to a video, and you can have that in your source. And then you can say, if you want to watch a video on how to do this, right, your notebook can give you that. Here's one of my favorites, being a marketing agencies. Content repurposing, right? You've created so much content over the years, blog posts, videos, podcasts, presentations, and it's just sitting there gathering dust. That's why I have the weekly webinar summary notebook, right? So what if you upload all of your content that you've ever created into the content notebook? Again, different from your SOP notebook, different from your onboarding notebook, right? And then you can say, ooh, create 10 social media posts from that blog content that I did. Or what topics have I covered the most? Or draft me an email newsletter based on these 3 posts, right? And start repurposing existing content instead of starting from scratch every time. Create a video overview of this blog post I did on how to change a light bulb, right? Boom. Or the audio overview, and then you could download it, or you create your own podcast from your own content, upload it to your website and be like, here's my new podcast, upload it to Spotify, upload it wherever you want. You don't even have to produce it. NotebookLM produced it. It's 2 people. You don't even know who your hosts are, but you don't have to pay them anything. That's good. That's cheap talent right there. And it's great. All right. Use case number 4, competitor research. I didn't really talk about going out to the web and getting new sources. You can totally search the web to get sources. You want to learn how to do something yourself, create a notebook for how to do it, go to the web and pull in a bunch of sources. And you can use, if you see here, fast research. You can search all of your Google Drive or the web, and you can also do fast research, or you can do deep research, and it will go out and scour the web to get you sources for a notebook on something you want to learn about. So, well, you might want to learn about your competitors. So, upload your competitor website, their product page, reviews, industry reports. They're like, go just do a deep search on your competitor. Who's your number 1 competitor, right? Upload it all into a notebook and call it like, information about the bad guy, right? And compare the pricing strategies of competitor A, or maybe you do it for all your competitors, competitor A and B. And then you put it in a data table and you've got all your key differentiators and like your unique selling proposition, right? What features do they offer that we don't? What are customers complaining about with competitor? I did that for a guy. I was talking to a guy. He's a broker of liquor licenses. Yes, there's a niche for everything. And so what I did is I uploaded his competitor stuff, and I basically then said, what are people complaining about or saying about this competitor? And we've got so many pain points on that competitor. And I was like, that's where you exploit them. That's what you go after. Oh, you don't want to work with that guy because XYZ, right? So instant competitive intelligence. Also, before a sales call, make a notebook on who you're going to talk to, pull in all the information about that, and know exactly how you would stack up against somebody else that they might be talking to, especially if they tell you, oh, I'm working with this person or this company, or I use this software, right? Brilliant. Client knowledge base. Create a notebook for each of your clients. Upload your meeting notes, project docs, email threads, proposals before any client meeting with them. When you have those weekly huddles or monthly huddles, summarize our last 3 conversations with this client. Get me back up to speed. What open issues do we have? What did we decide to do about this topic, right? Walk into every meeting fully briefed, no scrambling through emails. Ooh, let me find this. I know we talked about this, but I can't remember what it was. No, eliminate it. Done. It's over. Like, use your AI note taker and put those things into it and build notebook. All right. So I want to open it up for questions. I've got time for questions. It's 11:30. I always give us till 12 o'clock. I don't know if we're going to need to it. I have some common questions I can answer, but yeah, let's put, Sarah had key questions for new employees in the old days. Where do I park? When do I get paid? When can I go on vacation? Yeah. If you have all that in your docs, you don't have to answer that question for new employees. Just be like, hey, here's a notebook. Anything you want to ask me, ask it first. If it's not in there, let me know. We will get it in there, right? And you can add more sources, right? So now you're eliminating all those, they would say there's no such thing as a stupid question. And there probably isn't such thing as a stupid question, especially with a new employee. You want them to get things done right. But come on, like, do you need to answer their quote unquote stupid questions all day long anymore? Nope, not with AI. And the guys, don't miss the big picture here. source grounding is the word of the day. Like grounded sources. Your sources are grounded in your notebooks. How many notebooks do I have? Ilsa, we're still building them every day. Let's see. I don't know. I'm just scrolling through them. All right. So, oh gosh, 20, 25, and we're still building them. All right. So, yeah. So there are, and then if you're sharing them in an organization, if somebody else on your team, and usually you'd have to have like a Google Workspace account or something, but then you could, if people are in your workspace, like if everybody has the Google Workspace account, you can also have notebooks that get shared with you, or you could see your notebooks. So yeah. The limitations on the free Google account, I think you can have, I have it in the PDF that you have. I don't know exactly how many. I think you can have like certain notebooks, a certain number of notebooks. I want to say it's like 50 in the free account, or 50 sources in a notebook. It's all on your PDF. Who would be calling me between 10:30 and 12 on a Friday? Of course, it's a likely spam. 50 notebooks. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. Yes, of course somebody would. Okay, 50 notebooks on the free plan. So 50 notebooks. Okay. Does your business need 50 notebooks? Not likely. You need 6, right? All right. Somebody said, Avenue said, what was number 4? On the use cases, number 4 was use case number 4, competitor research. So upload all of your competitor websites, product pages, everything you can, everything you can find out about a competitor, or do deep research on them. Inside NotebookLM, you can use the deep research tool. If I create, let's go into D's company knowledge, right? We got D's company knowledge here. We're going to do deep research. I don't know a competitor of D's, but we're going to do deep research on virtual assistant services near Winston-Salem, NC. Right? And you can just do a deep research on this. Now, it's going to take a while, right? But we'll watch it. I'll keep my screen shared here, and we'll see what the web and what NotebookLM can pull in about virtual assistant services near Winston-Salem, or I put Winston-Salem. Good job, Jay. But I hope it was Winston. I hope it should. So that should work, right? And then D can actually see like what's being offered, like what is out there, and search it and explain it, and maybe uncover some services or pricing or competitors or some research that can give her more insights on how to take her business to the next level. Right. Cool. So Craig, I work with larger corporations who may not have a Google environment. Does anyone else have a tool like this? I don't believe so. I mean, there are other tools out there that can organize documents and notes, but a lot of them, like Microsoft SharePoint or something, you could take your, I mean, I don't know that SharePoint, Microsoft may at some point have something like this for Microsoft if they don't already. I'm not an expert on SharePoint, but Microsoft I know is used. I know there's tools like Notion and some other things where you can organize a lot of information, but I haven't seen or heard of anything that just transforms the game like this at all. So can you do searches and builds using multiple notebooks at once, or just within a single notebook? You would want to just do things within a notebook. All right. So you'd give, whoever needs access to the notebook on your team, you give them access. If you have a company that wants to create a notebook, let me know, right? Or needs help implementing their notebooks, let me know. We'll partner up on it together, because that's what we're going to be doing. We're moving in 2026. We are going to be implementing this system into enterprise level organizations. Obviously they're going to need a Google Workspace account to do it. But I think it just transforms the way people work. I've been using Google Workspace now for 10 years. it used to be called something else. It wasn't Workspace. They've changed the name several times, but we've been, all of my all my team emails, Heather, RC, all of those emails. Yeah. So Craig, cool. SharePoint is nowhere like this. It organizes and presents like a website, but not this. Right. Yeah. I'm sure it's only a matter of time. Google is dominating. I would almost tell people, if you're using SharePoint, like, I wouldn't tell people to move off Microsoft for everything they do, but you could almost create a Google account, a paid Google account, and get everybody a Google email, or just create a notebook. And I'm sure there's going to be more ways to share inside of an organization if you're not using Google Workspace for sharing those documents. So, but again, whether you're a solopreneur, by the way, our deep research just finished. You can see that here, and it got us 34 sources. And if I go into them, it gives us a bunch of people in the areas of, King and Winston-Salem and Greensboro, and virtual assistants and ratings. And it found out everything it could about virtual assistant services. And it gives us a brief PDF, the architecture of virtual support, institutional leaders, gives us some possible competitors. Jessica Lane is one, right? Regional and boutique providers. They're giving you a couple of, here's some providers: the Office Geeks, To Do, To Done, My BTLR, Efficiency. So here you go, D. Like, you can learn everything you want about competitors just in that search I did. All right. But yeah, if you guys know somebody and you're like, oh man, you need to organize all your information like this. If they're using Google, we want to help them. Right. So, but again, you could be running your own lemonade stand and you want to train your little sister on how to run the lemonade stand. You could use this, right? Or you could be managing a team of 5,000 and use it. Do you not think for one second that Google itself, in their massive organization, isn't putting NotebookLM to work internally? Obviously, yeah, they are, right? So, if you guys, I'm gonna just, there's a few other questions that I kind of wanted to answer before, in case they don't get asked, that maybe you're thinking about, and then we'll wrap up. Again, if you're interested in buying the course, you can either click the QR code above my head, or we can put the link in the chat again. And also, RC is next week's webinar. Let me tell you guys about the next few weeks. Next week, we're going to be talking about AI-powered chat assistants, right? So let me tell you how that works with NotebookLM. Maybe you have a notebook, you use NotebookLM to get all your research and get all your knowledge-based documents together. And then we're going to show you how to create an assistant that can answer your phones with voice, or answer all your inbound messages through social media or text in your business, and chat with them, book appointments for you. Right? We have an AI assistant for a chain of stores that we work with, a chain of mattress shops. It's booked over 3,500. It's over 3,500 appointments that the owner of the business did not have to talk to until they came to the store to buy a mattress. The AI talked to the person, offered them 2 time slots from their calendar. The person booked the time, and then the automation sent out the confirmation and reminder messages. And then we wanted the people to show up for the appointments. Over 3,500 appointments just in the last 10 months, since April of last year. We have an AI assistant doing all the work, all the heavy lifting of getting the appointments on the calendar, right? We're going to talk about those assistants next week. So that's next week's webinar, and RC just dropped the link in there. It's for next week, the 27th. Go ahead and register. And Alan, there you go. I'm putting it on here. Alan Wallace. He is one of our mattress dealers that I'm talking about. He's been using AI booking. He was one of the first. He might have been the first to use it. He goes back to March or April. He was a pilot program user, and the AI is booking appointments for him every day, right? And he's in Texas. He's in Abilene, Texas. If you're in Abilene, Texas, and you need a mattress, I know your guy. I know where to go. You go see Alan. If you're in the Greensboro area and you need a mattress, my friend Jeff Meisner, who I saw yesterday. Some of you on this call also met Jeff yesterday. He was at our Alignable event that we did. Jeff is the place to buy a mattress. We're talking, you see this mattress that you really love for $8,000, but you want to be able to get it for like $3,000. You go see Mattress by Appointment, right? They have mattresses that are sold on Amazon and other high-end places for like lots of money, sold a lot less, right? And they also have the mattresses that you might want to throw in your, campground, or not RV. I don't want to say RV because those are special order, but like maybe you just had a cheap mattress, right? So 100, and here you go, Alan. Thank you. Next week, we're going to be talking about chatbots that can do this in your business. 141 bookings over $30,000 in sales by AI. The AI chatted with this real person on Facebook, booked an appointment on Alan's calendar. Our system sent confirmation or reminder messages, and we're going to talk all about that next week. Then the week after that, we're going to talk about cloning yourself. Scary topic. Cloning yourself on video using a tool called HeyGen. And we got a whole bunch of good stuff. So every Friday, we're going to be talking about fun stuff. So tell your friends, share it. I love it. Thank you, Alan, for chiming in there. All right. A couple more questions I want to answer before we jump out of here. Just in case we didn't cover it. Yes, it's free to get started. Your data is private. I talked about that. Your documents are only used for your notebooks. They're not used to train Google's AI. You control who can access your notebooks. That's why you can't even make them public. Like you can't share them outside of your organization. If anybody wants to learn more, you can book a free 15-minute coaching call with me. Just to how do you implement AI in your business? And I will, RC just put the link in there. Avanice says, where have you been, Jay? I've been here 14 years. I've been in the digital marketing space. And for the last 5, I've been in the AI space, but I'm really building, I'm really doing I'm going all at it this year, like hard work into the AI space, deep dive, teaching as many business owners to not be afraid of AI, but to use it to get ahead, because AI is not going to replace the people, but the people who know how to use AI are going to replace the ones who don't. And that is a fact. It's already happening, right? Learn to use AI so you don't get replaced by somebody who's learned. And my team is doing the same thing. Like I tell them all the time, like use AI. Don't keep doing things manually. There it is. 50 sources per notebook on the free version, 500 plus on the plus version, but 50 is going to be plenty. You can always create multiple notebooks. So that's the sources per notebook, right? You can create multiple notebooks, 50 sources per notebook. If you're using Journey Builder, which is our platform, you can upload your docs and everything and create a knowledge base for yourself or your team. And you can use that to train AI assistants or anything else. And so before I wrap up, I need to tell you about a problem. Everything that I showed you works beautifully if your documents are clean. But here's what most people do. And I know that some of you are going to go do it right now. I know you are. You're going to dump 50 messy files into a notebook and wonder why AI is giving you garbage answers. If you put PDFs with weird formatting, 2 columns, repeated headers and footers, broken headers, garbage in, garbage out. NotebookLM is only as good as what you feed it. Okay? I know it's tempting. You're going to be like, I'm going to go throw everything I have into a notebook. And then you're going to be like, Jay, I thought you said this thing was awesome. It sucks. Please, please, please. I have been spending, if anybody knows me or saw me yesterday at the Alignable event, I was a wreck. I was running on 4 hours sleep. I was running on fumes. I did get a good night's sleep last night because I really wanted to be ready for today. But I have been working around the clock. They say burning the candle at both ends. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second so you guys can see me. I really want to talk to you guys right now about this. I have been building something I call the company Cortex. I've talked about this course. I want to spend just another minute or two just talking about this course. If you guys are like, I don't want to hear any more about your course, that's fine. That's totally fine. but I call it the company Cortex. And it's really not just how to use NotebookLM. It's a complete system for turning all of your files into an AI superbrain. We're calling it the source hygiene protocol. It's how to clean up and prep all of your documents before uploading them so that you get reliable, accurate answers every single time, 100% of the time. Inside the course, we're going to give you access to, it's called a gem. It's like a custom program, a custom tool that you can use called the Cortex Architect Gem. It's like a chat with ChatGPT, but it's a tool that you use specifically that's already trained on what to do. All you do is you go in, you start a conversation with this thing, you upload your PDF, and it cleans it and gives you the clean version that you can upload into NotebookLM. It's called the Cortex Architect Gem. It reformats it specifically for NotebookLM. It'll pull transcripts. It'll pull clean PDFs. It does all that. And then you're going to get the templates for building the HR notebooks, sales notebooks, support notebooks, all the exact files to put into each one. Guys, I'm going to be selling this thing for $197 because I did a lot of work, a ton of work to build this course. Matter of fact, I'm still finishing up a few videos in the later modules. We're going to do a kickoff call, but if you buy it today, you get access to module 1 today, hands down, so you can get started through the weekend or into next week. And then next week, I'm going to do a welcome to the course call just for people who have bought the course. Right? We're going to welcome to the course. We're going to unlock the rest of the modules for you. And I promise it'll be done by then, the final module, which I'm working on. And because you guys have been coming to the webinars and because I really want to build this thing up, I'm launching it at $47. $47 to revolutionize your business. And you just have to watch me talk some more. Like as Meg said last week, she wished she could follow me around and learn from me all day. Well, good. I've got like a couple hours worth of videos you can watch and watch them all day and follow me around that way, right? Teaching you how to build this in your business, right? Also, if you want, we've built 3 extra resources. You'll see them on the page. It's the Executive Briefing Prompt Pack, 15 copy and paste prompts for extracting strategy, SWOT analysis, decision matrices, all that. You can add that at checkout. There's a company, there's a content briefing pack, and there's another one, or you get all 3. It's like $37. But if you have like 5,000 documents in your business and you're like, oh my gosh, cleaning 5,000 documents? Are you kidding me, Jay? That's going to take me forever. If you need help, we can help you with implementation. My team will clean your data, we'll build your notebooks, we'll build the whole thing for you and hand you the keys. We can have a discovery call if you want to talk about that. That is not $47. That is a lot more than $47. And it's probably more designed for a bigger company to do. So, but if you guys want to talk about that, book one of those free 15-minute coaching calls and say, hey, I've got a lot of documents. I want you to come in, coach me, teach me, and do it for me. Right? We'll talk about that. So whether you grab the course or not, the quick start guide, we gave you everything in the quick start guide. It's got everything you need to get started with NotebookLM. It was in the chat. We can put it in there again. Next Friday, we're going to talk about AI customer service, how to build chatbots that don't suck. They actually help your customers instead of frustrating them. We already put the link to register for that in the chat. I think I've covered everything else. I really want you guys to go build something awesome and share it with me. Okay. Please, please, please share it with us in the Facebook group. You guys have been wonderful. I appreciate you continuing to show up every week. And yeah, thanks for all the support. We're going to kick out of here and go now. And I appreciate you guys for being a part of our webinar some more. See you next week.